Hey everybody, welcome to Marketing Monday, where we give you tips you can use immediately. Today we are going to expand on, what are we going to expand on? The marketing matrix, all right? Not only understanding it, but getting into the first tier, what we call, or first bucket, what we call branding and awareness, all right? Last week, before we do that, I want to know, question of the day. I want to know what's your favorite way to get awareness. Again, what is your favorite way to get awareness? Put down the comments below, either on Facebook or if you're on YouTube, put the comments below. Again, we're streaming live both on Facebook and YouTube, although a lot of you watching will probably be watching it on delay, or is it tape delay? We can't say tape delay like we used to, huh, Josh? This week we're going to get into branding awareness. Next week we'll get into customer acquisition, and the last week loyalty and advocacy. And that's really the buckets that you are in the marketing matrix, okay? Now, when it comes to marketing matrix, depending on what you're trying to do, you have to understand what your focus is. If you're branding awareness, you understand it's going to be like 60-20-20 or 50-25-25 or whatever the case may be that you're focused on. And a lot of people want to go straight towards that middle bucket right there, which is customer acquisition. But if you don't build brand and brand awareness, customer acquisition takes a lot longer, and we'll talk about it next week, how long it takes that consideration part, all right? So let's go into branding awareness. So what is branding awareness? There's a lot of things to it, but we're going to break it down to three pieces: identity, education, and repetition. Again, identity, education, and repetition. What does that mean? So your identity, that's your name, your logo, your colors, your product itself, and what it's associated with, whether it's the people that created it or an endorsement or partnerships. All those things go into the identity of that logo, okay? And the colors and all those lends to that brand. I mean, you know, there's different tasting sodas, for say, right? Pepsi and Coke and RC for you old school people. At the end of the day, there's a lot of similarities. A lot of your perception of that brand is all wrapped around those colors and logos and so forth. And with that, is your identity strong? I mean, you've seen it before, right? You've been networking and you get business cards and you can tell somebody who has a cheap brand or a cheap identity and someone who's put some time and investment into it. And oftentimes, not always, but they're usually the one that's more reputable or has the better product, right? Again, not always, but oftentimes there is. You know, I've heard a lot of folks say, mentors say, you know, how you do one thing is often how you do everything. So if your identity sucks, right, your product oftentimes is just going to suck, because that's how you operate in general. All right. So think about that. One part of branding and awareness is your identity, and make sure you have a strong identity. Next piece is the education piece, explaining to you folks what that product you have is, what features it has, and what are the benefits. Okay, features, it could be, hey, I have an iPhone, right? It has a camera. A camera is a feature. It's not a benefit. The benefit is being able to take pictures anytime, anywhere. You can upload it and all those things. Those are the benefits, all right? A feature is just the component itself. So you have to educate folks during that awareness piece. You can do it live, walk by, networking, shaking somebody's hands and telling people about it. You can do it through our favorite video, right? You can do it through white papers, all those things. But an important piece about branding and awareness is the education piece. See, we always say awareness is not just a recognition of your logo, but also an understanding of what it is that you do, okay? What it is that you or your product does. That's awareness. And once you have that awareness, then you can start thinking about customer acquisition. And oftentimes you have to brand because the people that you're trying to acquire may not have a need or desire yet. If you don't have a need or desire, then they're not in the customer acquisition mode yet. Okay? And that's what a lot of folks don't understand. The other piece is repetition, which is frequency, staying on message, and doing that on all channels. So frequency. There's a reason why Coca-Cola has a commercial every time you turn on the TV. There's a reason why McDonald's, you hear their ad every single time you turn on the radio, right? Because they know that familiarity, all right? People buy that familiarity, and so you need that frequency. Again, one of my favorite quotes, if you haven't heard on other episodes, is from the movie Joy, where the Bradley Cooper character says, hey, you tell somebody something once, they don't listen. You tell them 4 times, they don't listen. You tell them 9 times, they begin to listen. So you have to be frequent with that message. You're competing between 2,500 to 3,500 messages a day, whether it's a brand hit or it's something they see on the internet, here on the radio, XM, whatever it is. Stay on message. So if you're trying to say something every single time, they're not going to remember it. All right, so you got to say that one thing over and over and over, so that they can begin to listen to you and then really hear you after you say it so many times. Okay, they say from the point of first touch to closing a sale, it takes 7 to 13 touches. All right, so that's why you got to stay on message over and over and over, and do that across all channels. All right, we don't absorb things just on Facebook anymore, or on TV, or on radio, or a billboard, whatever that thing is. You got to do it all 2 channels that you have budgeted for, and staying on message. Okay, so that's the repetition piece. So again, making sure you do those things: identity, having a strong one, educating people, and staying on message, repetition. Okay, so next week we are going to, then once you've done that part, all right, or you focused on that part, then you can have a different campaign. You can run both simultaneously. It's a little bit more challenging, though. Sometimes people don't always have the budget to do that. But then the next piece is customer acquisition, and we're going to talk about that next week. Once they hit that consideration phase, meaning they have a need and desire and they're thinking about it, okay, then what happens? And I want you to tune in, and then we'll get into the meat of what everybody always wants, is more customers. So with that, if you find value in this episode today, make sure you share it. Share it via email. Take this link, whether it's on YouTube, up or bottom, or you take it on, take the link and put it on LinkedIn. Share the button if you're on Facebook. That's easy, right down there. You can just share it to your page. Also to Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. Make sure you let other folks know about it. Give me feedback. Was this a value to you? What did you get out of it? So that we can keep giving you good content and good value as well. Okay? The other thing we've kicked back off, I'm really excited about, is Success Secrets, our podcast, where we interview somebody who's doing great in their industry and what it is that they do. We just launched the Lisa Schaffner interview, really powerful one on personal branding and donating for life. She's the face of UNOS. We have Patrick Moorns launching tomorrow on the 11th. All right, make sure you subscribe to that as well. And we also have some folks, a couple of the key stakeholders from Hometown Realty, one of the top 2, I think, real estate companies in the area. And we got some other cool ones coming down the pipe. So stay tuned to that. You can learn some valuable, interesting things. Tomorrow's session on Patrick Moore's, tomorrow's interview, and on being able to sell your company. Wow, if you're thinking about selling in the next 3 to 5 years, listen to that podcast, okay? So make sure you share that as well. I think that is it for Marketing Monday. Again, let me know what you enjoyed about the show. What's your favorite ways to get awareness out to your brand, personally or professionally? And with that, make sure you connect with me on LinkedIn, friend me on Facebook, follow me on Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter. Mention me. I promise I'll follow you back. Till then, be successful and stay social.